Working at a mortuary, you see things that will haunt you forever. Some things can be explained by science, but others, they defy logic. They linger in the dark corners of your mind long after you've gone home for the night. These are some of the most terrifying experiences from people working with the dead. Story 1, the man who didn't want to die. The first time I questioned reality was the night a man was brought into the mortuary after a fatal accident. He had died instantly, blunt force trauma to the head. There was no doubt he was gone, but as I began preparing his body, something felt off. The moment I placed his arms on the table, they wouldn't stay in position. I'd cross them over his chest, normal for a viewing, but when I turned back after grabbing tools, his arms were back by his sides. I tried again, same thing. At first I thought it was rigor mortis setting in. The way his limbs shifted seemed deliberate. Then something happened that I know I didn't imagine. I stepped away for a second, and when I turned back, his mouth was open. Not slightly ajar, wide open, like he had just let out a scream before I turned around. I quickly closed his mouth again, pressing it shut, but the moment I removed my hands, it fell open again. I stared at the body, my pulse pounding in my ears. The room was silent, except for the faint sound of something dripping. I looked down. Blood. Just a trickle, but it was fresh. And yet, this man had been deceased for hours. Yo, I already got chills and they're multiplying. That's when you get a new job, babe, because something freaky going on at your morgue. That's horrifying. As soon as the arms moved, I would have been out of there. Not a chance, babe. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Lindsay Ivan, aka this is Lynn's Spooky Corner. If you're new to my channel, hi, welcome. It's nice to have you here. Subscribe if you like that spooky content. Subscribe if you don't like that spooky content. You're here to stay now. If you like this video and you want to see more like it, then let me know in the comments below. While you're down there, smash that like button, obviously subscribe to my channel. And now we'll continue on with story number 2. Story 2, the whispering woman. It started with a routine intake. An elderly woman who had passed in her sleep. Peaceful, or so we thought. From the moment she arrived, the room felt heavier. The air was thick, like the oxygen itself was pressing against my chest. Then, the whispers started. Faint at first, so soft I thought it was my imagination. But then, not yet. I froze. I was alone in the room. The body lay motionless on the table, but I knew what I had heard. I grabbed my phone and recorded the silence, just to prove to myself I wasn't crazy. When I played it back, I heard it again. Not yet. I checked the security cameras later, and what I saw made my blood run cold. Her mouth had moved. Not much, just the slightest twitch, but enough to make me question everything. The whispers continued for 2 days until the moment her family finally buried her. After that, the room was silent, as if she had finally let go. I don't know, man. The fact that you heard whispering saying not yet, like she didn't want to go just yet. There was some final things that she needed to do before being put to rest. So hopefully she found peace and was able to do those things and is not haunting that morgue. Story 3, the room no one enters. Every mortuary has its quirks, but this was something else. There was one room we all avoided, a storage room for old supplies, but the moment you stepped near it, you felt it. The temperature dropped, the hairs on your arms stood up. Even the most logical workers, the ones who didn't believe in ghosts, refused to go inside. One night I was locking up when I heard it. Footsteps, soft, slow, coming from inside the locked room. I held my breath, my keys clutched in my shaking hands. I knew no one else was there. The next morning I checked the security footage. The door never opened. No one went inside, but somehow, the single chair that had been against the wall the night before was now in the middle of the room. On my channel, I have a story about the time I went to a haunted summer camp, and there was a thing with chairs being moved. In the basement, there was a room we weren't allowed to go into, and it was like locked off. And when you opened it, there was always a chair in the middle of that room. They could move it to the corners of the room, but it would always go back to the middle of the room. Buddy liked to just sit there. I don't know. It's freaky. Story 4, the unclaimed body. Unclaimed bodies are the saddest cases. No family, no friends, just forgotten. This man had been in our mortuary for 3 weeks. No next of kin, no visitors, just waiting. Then the weird things started to happen. Doors cracking open on their own, shadows moving in my peripheral vision, and then the sobbing. One night I heard it, a deep, broken sobbing coming from the room where he lay. When I stepped inside, silence. But as I looked down at the metal table, my breath caught in my throat. Condensation. The room was too cold for that, but on the table, the moisture had formed a word. Cold. The next morning he was buried in an unmarked grave, and the strange occurrences, they stopped. Well, I'm glad that the strange occurrences stopped, man, because that's wild. So they were crying because their body was so cold. Oh, you should have gotten a little blanket, put a little blanket on them. That's sad, man. Like, I don't think that person was like evil or anything. I thought they literally were just cold and they wanted maybe even like a goodbye hug or something. Story 5, the last goodbye. A grieving family came in for one last viewing before the funeral. The mother wept over her son's body, whispering prayers, touching his hand. I stood back, giving them space, watching, observing. As they turned to leave, I saw it. A tear rolling down his cheek. Medically, it's possible fluids shift after death, but as I reached out with a tissue to wipe it away, I heard it. Thank you. Yo, again, this one, why is this making me so emotional? Like,
Thank you.
Oh, that's so sweet, and he was so thankful for that. Oh, that makes me sad, man. Some things in a mortuary can be explained. Others, they stay with you forever. If you enjoyed these stories, make sure you subscribe for more chilling tales. And remember, just because somebody is deceased doesn't mean that they're gone. I've been your host, Lindsay Ivan. Stick around for some bloopers and I'll see you when I see ya. Bye. I'm in all black and I look like a blob, but that's okay, because I'm a cute blob. The whispers continued for 2 days until the moment her family finally buried her. And when you opened it, there was always a room in the middle of